It's good, y'all. Welcome back to Niner Wire. I'm your host, Sam, and today we're going to be breaking down the 49ers draft. We're going to be going over every draft pick. We'll talk about some undrafted free agents. We'll also talk about the trades we made during the draft. We're going to break it down all here right now. I have a few guests for this. We have Rohith right here, who you've seen in many streams. We got AC, who was on the last stream for a bit. And we got Ayush here right there. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing all right. How about you?
You guys have the Last Dance, the doc, obviously just ended with both parts. It was really good.
Were you guys watching that?
Yeah, I almost fell asleep during the second part of it.
I was trying to watch it. I didn't have the time tonight, but I'll definitely try to make sure to watch it sometime else. But I'm doing great.
I'm just waiting for it all to come out so I can binge it.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, I'm doing pretty great tonight. I'm ready to get into it. But before I get into it, make sure to follow me on Twitter at @StoneColdKittle. I post a lot of sports content there, a lot of Niners content. I did a lot of content during the draft posting there, and I'm still going over all the players, breaking them down. And if you're watching this from Twitter, make sure to retweet this, share this, do whatever you can. Also, make sure to follow these guys on Twitter. Rohith's Twitter is at RohithKanan71. AC's Twitter is at ACSteezy24. Ayush's Twitter is Ayush Acharya. Is it Acharya? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
All right, Ayush Acharya24. And if you have any questions or comments during the videos, make sure to leave them in the chat below or on the side or wherever you're watching this. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. Thanks, Haropolo, for the comment. All right, so is there any guy that you want to start with to talk about? First of all, we drafted 5 guys. We've got, I believe, 9 undrafted free agents. Is there any guy that you guys want to start with to talk about, or do you just want to go in order of like how we drafted everyone?
I say we start from the top, just go in the order that we.
Yeah, we'll just go.
All right, that sounds good. So, first player that we drafted, Javon Kinlaw. We traded back 1 spot to get him. And we got a 4th round pick for that. We also gave up our 7th, which wasn't really too much. But if you guys were watching my video, I sent the reaction to the chat. I hated this pick at first.
That's why I'm laughing, bro.
I know. I completely flipped out at first. But I got to say, man, after like this entire draft went, I'm liking this pick a lot more. I think it's really going to solidify our defensive line. To put it simply, I want to hear what you guys have to say about that pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like you said. I see it as basically it's practically a 1-for-1 replacement, and we essentially turned DeForest Buckner into a first rounder that we used to get Javon Kinlaw. So basically a younger, cheaper DeForest Buckner and a 4th rounder. So it was basically just a 1-for-1+1 deal that we ultimately benefited from in more ways than just one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what Rohit said. I mean, we basically, obviously, so when the news came out of Armstead getting his extension, which was like 5 years, 85 million or 80 million or something like that, a couple of our reporters had tweeted out like, well, if we paid Armstead this type of money, what's going to happen to Buckner? And sure enough, we traded for the 13th pick in the draft, which, I mean, at first we didn't think the draft was going to be anything because we had no picks, or we didn't have any picks rounds 2 through 4, and we only had the 31st, and we just assumed they were going to trade out, which, I mean, that's the logical reason. And then once we got the 13th pick, it's like all these guys that we didn't think we were able to get, we eventually got into the position where we were able to. And you guys saw my reaction. I think I sent the video in the chat. I'm sure you guys saw it. You guys probably saw it.
I did.
Ranting on Twitter. So I want to clear. I'll just clear this because I'm pretty sure some of you guys will probably agree with me. I was only mad at the pick because obviously we needed a receiver.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The scenarios basically like what we thought of in getting Ruggs, Lamb, or Judy. They played out for us. There was no receiver taken before the Jets or before the Raiders pick. 2 of the top tackles fell to the Jets. I'm surprised they took Becton over Wirfs. I could see it. Like I
was surprised, but
yeah. So the tackles fell to the Browns and Jets. So it made it obvious for them to take tackles. And then the Raiders took Ruggs, and it's like, okay, you had arguably the 2 best receivers in the class, 1 or 2 depending on how you rate them. It don't matter. Fall into our laps, and I'm thinking like, holy crap, we were gonna get one of them. And then so we traded a pick back to the Bucks, which was smart, because I think we made them believe that we were going to take a tackle. And then we ended up getting a pick back, which was used for our other first round pick, which we'll get into soon. And so then, 14th pick, you're like, okay, we're going to draft one of them. And sure enough, it's not one of them. Kinlaw. But I'm not mad at the Kinlaw pick because I get it. It's, it's a swap. I was just mad at the time because it's like, okay, the two best receivers fell in your lap and you didn't take them.
Yeah.
But that was the reason I was mad about the pick. But I understand the pick. Kinlaw's a beast from what I've seen, the film and stuff like that. And the only scary thing is his medicals, his
injuries.
Health, so.
Yeah, that concerns me a little bit. That's why, that's another reason. If it was Derek Brown, I would be absolutely thrilled with this pick. That would be A++ right there. But it's
no way unless he was falling back.
Yeah, there was no way he was falling. Kinlaw, I'm a bit lower on, although he's a beast, although I like him. Injuries are definitely a huge concern. Tendinitis in his knee, that's not something to be that's something to be concerned about. But
yeah, but he's got the hip issues too, I think, right?
What?
He's got hip issues or something.
Yeah, he had something like that too. He had a bit of injuries, but I think from what I'm hearing, he's all cleared. But the other thing I was kind of concerned about is his D Ford and him on the same line. Although that's good, that's just an injury. There's an injury waiting to happen somewhere right there.
Yeah, they survived 10 games for us. That's pretty lucky.
If the clean bill of health never came back, I don't think we would have made that pick, and I think we'd have probably stayed at 14, taken Lamb right there.
Yeah, I really do wish we had Lamb. I really wanted him all along, but I think we did get our receiver, which we'll talk about a bit later. But before we move on to that, what do you guys have to grade this pick as a letter grade? I got I'd say this is an A- or a B+, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
In my opinion,
B+. Either or.
In my opinion, if it was just a pick alone, the pick alone, I like Kinlaw a lot. It's just that Lamb and Judy were both right there.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
I have gotten so invested in Lamb that even if you said Judy, I probably would have been a little disappointed just because I liked Lamb so much. But they were both really nice. And if we walked out of the first round without getting a receiver, my grade would be way different. But given that we got Ayuk, and I like Ayuk a lot, I feel like it's a B+.
Yeah. I think speaking of CD Lamb, the Cowboys got an absolute steal in him. Let's just nothing.
I don't know how he fell to 17.
I know that's crazy, bro.
If I thought Philadelphia would probably trade up at that point after we passed on him because
I was surprised
because we knew the Broncos were probably going to take Judy, meaning
they were going to take one of the two. So if we had taken Judy or Lamb, they were going to take whoever was left. At least that's what I was thinking before the pick was made. So they had the option of getting to choose, between those two guys. And really, it depends on your preference. I get why people prefer Judy, and I get why people prefer Judy, and I get why people prefer Lamb. And so you can't really go wrong with either of those two guys. So, the Broncos had the luxury of getting to choose between both of them, and then they were able to, make their pick. And Judy was their guy from the whole time. So,
yeah,
I wonder if they would have taken Lamb if we took Judy at 14, which
I bet they would have taken.
But,
oh, yeah. Oh, well, the receiver's their biggest need, so I bet they would have. But
yeah, did y'all see Von Miller's video where he was mad?
Oh, dude, he was pissed.
Yeah, he was so mad.
He said we were greedy.
I think they were gonna go. I think they were gonna go receiver anyways because that's such a bigger need. They got Jarrell Casey there. And speaking of which, I feel like the one thing that I'm still a bit upset about this pick is that we didn't get I knew we needed to trade down and we didn't really get any value for that pick. We got a 4th, which we traded later. We gave up our own 7th, I think, and we only traded down one spot. And I think we could have traded possibly with Atlanta at 16 and we still would have gotten Judy because they were looking cornerback right there.
Yeah, but at the same time.
Yeah, and you saw they ended up taking Terrell.
But Atlanta wouldn't have traded up though because they were going AJ Terrell and they didn't need to trade up.
Right there.
True. I think they could have. I heard Kinlaw being.
But they did like Kinlaw. Yeah, they did like Kinlaw.
Yeah, I will say another thing about this pick, and which kind of brings us into our next pick. Ayuk, they almost took Ayuk at 13, which if that happened, I would have absolutely flipped out.
I'm so glad we took him. After I heard that, I'm
Yeah.
so glad
Like
we
Ayuk.
took him off
I think
Absolutely.
he's a reach though, especially
because I would have been even more mad at the pick considering it's a receiver. Like, okay,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I understand the Kinlaw pick; it makes sense. But if you took no disrespect to Ayuk, because I mean, I think he'll be good in Kyle's offense and just a good receiver in general. But if
Oh,
you
yeah.
took him at 13 over Judy and Lamb, I mean or 14 over Judy and Lamb,
That's like the reach of the
I'd be
century.
No, we would have getting clowned the whole time. We would have been called the losers of the draft and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
exactly.
sure.
Like we basically would have been ridiculed for basically doing what the Raiders did last year with Clayton Farrell.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That'd
that would have been
like-
like a Daniel Jones clowning.
Yeah, and that
that
would have
was-
just put more pressure on Ayuk, which is
Yeah.
kind of not
which is not
unnecessary,
exactly what
but
we want.
yeah,
Undo.
I mean, so
So yeah.
he was like the 5th receiver taken now.
Yeah, 5th.
Yeah, because
behind.
Jefferson went
Oh no,
ahead,
it's
yeah.
6th.
Sixth.
Yeah, sixth receiver behind
Ruggs,
Ruggs,
Judy, Lamb,
Judy,
Rager, Jefferson.
Rager, Jefferson. Yeah.
Oh, Rager, I forgot Rager. Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about Rieger. I
Yeah,
didn't think
so-
they were going to take him, but
I thought they were going with Jefferson for sure there. I
Yeah,
thought
me too.
I had Jefferson 21, Rager 22, which I think would have been the better
Vikings-
fit.
Vikings fans were probably
Vikings fans should be
happy.
thrilled about this draft. If you're a
their
Viking
draft,
Yeah,
killed
they got
their draft.
Gladney and Jefferson.
and Dantzler too. I
Yeah,
love
Dantzler.
Dantzler.
filled
They
their
got
need.
they got some other good guys, but they were definitely one of the winners of the draft. Speaking of the Vikings, but before we're going to talk about the Vikings picks which we acquired. But before we get into that, we have a serious question in the chat. That's for Rohith. Are you the king from Rohan of Lord of the Rings?
I have no idea. I haven't read Lord of the Rings since like 8th grade. If I'm being honest, I don't remember.
Yeah, I haven't read the book either, but just want to throw that out there. All right, so moving on to the Vikings pick 25. We traded up for this pick. Which I was surprised about. I know I was on stream with Rohith and AC. I was kind of shocked about that. We were all kind of shocked about that, but
we were just talking like because
How
it
we
was us three, and then you had Jake,
Jake, Max, and Tony
somebody else.
from other
Yeah.
those are my friends.
And then all of a sudden, I just hear you say like, "Holy crap! The Niners traded up," and I'm like, "What?" And I looked up at the screen because it's just unexpected. And sure enough, we traded up, and so and so, and did all that. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
kind of
someone,
But one thing
someone said they weren't even
surprises me-
watching the draft.
Who?
Go ahead.
Someone said they weren't even watching the draft, and like they just heard the Niners traded up. I forgot who it was. It's somebody. And they were like they weren't watching because I guess I expected them to trade back for sure. Like
Oh, yeah, for
trading
sure.
up didn't make sense to me
Yeah.
at all at the time.
that was a foregone conclusion for me, at least.
But there's one thing I kind of want to take a look at for a second. It's the fact that after we traded up, Miami traded out of 26 with Green Bay, and I think what that says to me was there's a good chance that Miami was looking at Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
And I think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch knew that. So
yeah. They said
they
that
had to jump
publicly.
Miami in order to get Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, they said that publicly that they thought Miami wanted Ayuk too. But anyways, let's talk about him. For the 25th pick, I think there was better receiver and talent on the board, but considering that he was our guy all along, and that and that other teams were really high on him, and we had to trade up to get him, I think it was definitely worth it to get our guy. And I want to pull up something real quick, but you guys can keep talking about what you think about this pick.
I mean, I feel like Miami was definitely looking to get him as a target for Tua. Like that was probably who they wanted, or I mean, evident as to who they wanted to pair with Tua on their offense because they got their lineman earlier. And I mean, I like his game. I watched much of him. I was watching his highlights, and I mean, he's electric and he returns, so he's good in open space. So like, it makes sense with Shanahan. I mean, I don't know too much about him. It's just the videos I've been watching since we drafted him.
Yeah, I want to hold on. Before anyone else talks, I just want to bring this up to like, if you don't know who Brandon Ayuk is, this is the draft profile of NFL Network. And first of all, Mike from Nothing But Niners said this the best. I'm just going to kind of repeat what he said. So, but make sure to sub to him. Make sure to watch their draft analysis video. I think it was at like 3 hours, 39 minutes where they started talking about Brandon Ayuk. But look at I'm just going to read the strengths and the weaknesses. Can feast off of man coverage, rapid foot turnover in routes, flash the ability to manipulate corners away from his route, burst out of stems to open windows for his quarterback. Routes are linear but crisp and fast, long arms and soft hands for above average catch radius, ball plucker with quick tuck to transition into runner, first down maker, yards after king, able to elude initial tackle and runs with elevated urgency and instance and open field vision of a running back. That says Kyle Shanahan all over that.
Yeah, that's a good
was almost
ideal
like
running
Dino
back.
Samuel's draft profile from last year, except without the long arms.
Yeah, this says Kyle Shanahan all over it. And then for the weaknesses, I want to bring up 3 weaknesses real quick. Okay. Bumpy downfield coverage throws him off kilter. Does Jimmy G have a deep arm?
You don't even go deep like that. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so we can throw that up. That's
Not really, yeah.
Yeah. Average vertical separation. Are we a vertical team?
No.
No. All right, we can throw that out the window. Gain chunk of receiving yardage on catch and run throws. That is our offense. That is a strength.
That's not a weakness. That's a strength.
That's a strength. Those are 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weaknesses listed. So that's like what? That's only like 6 weaknesses, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. Like when 3 weaknesses.
Those weaknesses are already irrelevant. They're practically
for him. Yeah, it's really good for him.
Yeah, when almost half of your weaknesses are don't play effect into your team, it's like it's perfect. And then like the last one I mentioned, like the short catch ability, like it was just I mean, what am I trying to say? It's a strength for our team. Like, I mean,
yeah, but that doesn't hurt him at all for us.
Yeah, I think she just says Kyle Shanahan all over him. And although I was still upset after, like, I was upset that we passed on Lamb, and then once we took him and I did some research on him and I watched him film, I'm completely sold on this guy.
Yeah, honestly, I thought for a second, and I saw Brandon Ayuk, and I'm like, okay, I think we reached, and then like you said, I went in, watched some tape, watched some film, and I'm like, okay, this is the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to put that there. Shout out Ty. I know you're watching sometime later. I just had to put out there.
Oh man,
hey, we love you, Ty.
Steve Smith, Charles Davis, or someone else on NFL Network, but they called Brandon Ayuk an area code receiver just because of his long ass arms, and I'm like,
yeah, it was Steve Smith. He was asked about like just the receivers in the class in general, and he was just talking about how there's so many like diverse guys. Like it's not guys that are just with the same skill set. Like you can find your type of skill set in this draft for whatever receiver you would want. And then he said he brought up Brandon Ayuk. Like he didn't get asked who do you think is the most underrated receiver, but he brought him up. So that kind of just tells me, from a receiver from his caliber that Ayuk might be the real deal. And watching film and watching highlights and stuff, the dude is insane.
And keep in mind, his senior season, he had to play with a true freshman at quarterback. So.
Yeah, their quarterback's horrible.
Some of the throws I saw were horrible.
I know.
Yeah, I was watching. He had like the worst quarterback besides like the Jalen Rager, because Rager's quarterback was horrible too.
And again, I kind of want to go back to what Sam brought up a bit earlier. Like Garoppolo doesn't have the greatest of deep balls, but even if the pass goes a bit awry, I think Ayuk will be able to make the adjustment promptly and aptly and be able to catch any errant throws.
Yeah, and Garoppolo's not even like. Garoppolo gets way too much hate, obviously, for obvious reasons, but like he's accurate. Like he's accurate as hell when he's throwing like short and intermediate passes. He misses every now and then, obviously, but that's just any quarterback. He puts it on the money. There are plays where he's like getting hit and he puts it into like double teams and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Consider the fact that we improved our offensive line, so he'd probably have more protection in the pocket, and now that means we could probably give him more time to actually make those deep throws properly.
Yeah, and I think
he practically got clotheslined and then launched the ball 60 yards.
I know. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Like, if you can do that clothesline, give him a clean pocket.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think the other thing with Ayuk is that if Debo can succeed in our system, he can excel in our system. Like I think there's a legitimate shot that he's going to be better than Debo. Just looking at his things, he has everything that Debo has, and then he has he has like more physicality, more yards after catch, an insane wingspan, 40-inch vertical. Like this
that was the most surprising thing about him, like his wingspan, and like not that it means anything. Calvin Johnson had like the same amount wingspan as well. He was like
Keep in
6'5".
mind, Calvin Johnson is
It's
6'5".
insane. It's insane.
Ayuk is what,
Yeah.
5'11", 6'4"?
He's 5'11". He has
He's
like an
pushing
80.
6 foot.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, he's
Like,
basically
it's
6 foot. I
insane.
mean, whatever.
The
Height
clip
is-
of him jumping over the people, that was insane.
Oh, that was satisfying.
drill.
I'm not even
That drill.
gonna-
Yeah, the one-on-one. It
I'm not
wasn't
even
even like
gonna front, that
in
was
game.
satisfying to watch.
Yeah, that drill. Yeah, he just straight up jumped over the dude. Like,
And
he
it
took
wasn't
like
even,
2
like-
steps to the right and then
Yeah,
just jumped
it
over.
was like one-sided either. It was just like in place. He just jumped 2 feet up.
Yes, he didn't even get a running start either, so that was pretty
Crazy.
impressive.
Yeah, and I wanna bring up a quick comment from WAP right here. He's not more. I said he was more physical than Debo, which is somewhat debatable, but he is definitely an overall cleaner route runner. So,
But if you want to talk about physicality, we're gonna get to a wide receiver later in the stream, and we're gonna get to some physicality.
oh yeah, for sure. We'll talk
Steal
about
of the
the.
draft. Steal of the
I
draft.
mean,
Yeah, really
Devo's crazy though. Devo, like, he doesn't even like, he's quick and everything, but like whenever he's playing in the game, he doesn't even look like get around people. He goes through people. Like
I
that
know,
one
it's-
play against
yeah, like-
Xavier Rhodes, he just ran right through him. And then against
He's the
Green Bay too.
definition of instead of going around you, I'm gonna just go through you. Like if you
Yeah.
had to put a player on that definition, it's basically Debo. Like
Oh,
he
yeah,
does, like
exactly.
it's not like he can't do. It's not like he can't go around him. He just decides to go through him. Which,
We got George Kittle with him too.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah,
my
true.
god, we're gonna
them too.
this
That's
offense,
goals of
dude.
so
I'm.
many defensive
Oh,
players
man.
this season. Oh my goodness.
We got wide receiver 1 at 25. We'll put that out.
I know
there.
it's ridiculous, but
I'll tell you right now, Brandon Ayuk better step his game up quick in San Francisco, or else he's gonna get an IOU for souls from defenses. Because we got a lot of soul snatchers.
We got a lot of targets, man. It's what
Yeah.
Jimmy needed. It's kind of the reason why
we got a squad of soul snatchers. I mean, if you look at our offense in its entirety, like these guys will bully you.
And it's just,
It's
next season, if there is a next season, we had obviously we knew we had to get more receivers, kind of depending on Sanders coming back. If Sanders came back, I don't know if they maybe would have went after a receiver. Maybe they would have.
oh, they wouldn't have.
I
If Sanders
don't
came
think they
back,
would've
they
taken
wouldn't
him
have
in the
done
first
it.
round. No
they
way.
would
they would
have
have waited until next year to address that.
Yeah, but it added on to the fact that after Sanders left, I mean, it was basically a foregone conclusion that we needed one. And
Oh, yeah.
basically next season is about, if there is a next season, it's basically about Jimmy's development and how he gets better as
Well,
a
I think given
quarterback.
the fact that it's going to be
A
the second
quarterback
year
needs
off
to
the
get better
ACL,
by having more targets. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
year
ACL
two,
injury.
given the fact
off
it's,
Yeah.
it's the second year after his ACL injury, then he should
is
be better.
usually a 2-year injury.
Like if you compare Deshaun Watson's 2018 to his 2019 after he tore his ACL in
His 2019 was significantly better.
exactly.
Yeah,
Also, there were plays in the beginning of the year where he just
14 receptions
wasn't.
on what 68% completion and almost
something
4,000
like
yards.
that.
Yeah.
If that's after 1 year off from an ACL, he should get better. More probably
Oh yeah, for sure.
to a Shanahan system.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the year, there were moments with Jimmy where like the pocket would collapse and he couldn't really escape as he used to in 2017 because in 2017 he was running all over the place, side arming throws and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the year in the Rams game, where like he hit Kittle on that touchdown where he's rolling out to the right on 3rd and goal.
Yeah,
And
That
then
was
like
2017 Jimmy right there.
yeah, that
Kinda
one that was flashback.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has that next year.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So how do you guys grade this pick? I think with everything that like I've seen about this kid, we got him at 25. We didn't have to we got him at 25. It was expensive to get him, but I think like we got our guy. This was our guy all along. So for those reasons, I gotta give this. I wouldn't give it an A+, considering that I think we did give up a little too much to trade up, but I would definitely give it an A.
All factors considered, you have to consider the fact that we traded up, and you also have to consider the fact that we may have reached a bit, especially when you consider that there was technically more wide receiver talent left on the board. But you also have to take into consideration that what happened after the fact, and you have to consider the fact that Miami traded out of 26 after we took Ayuk at 25.
Yeah.
Meaning that means we had to pay that price just to jump them. So all things considered, I would probably give this an B+, A-, similar to the Kinlaw pick, mostly because it's not in just necessity, but there's a lot of context behind it.
Mm-hmm. All right. What
So
about
you gotta understand that the receiver, we kind of needed a receiver too. Not needed,
Yeah.
but like it was on top
No,
of our priority.
It was our biggest need, in my
Oh
opinion.
no,
Like,
I think we definitely needed one. Mostly
yeah, and so especially
need
Sanders
someone
leaving, because
to
when
control
Sanders
the
came, we got way better.
yeah.
Well,
And then
I
how
mean,
would you grade the pick?
We basically ran like just 4 receivers basically after Sanders came, because it was Sanders, Debo, KB, and then James would come in for like a play when they needed rest, because Pettis was in the doghouse, Goodwin was hurt.
I think I hurt too, though. So you got to like the Cardinals gave me a touchdown, but then he got hurt.
Did he?
Who?
He was in the doghouse for the second Cardinals game, but and then
Pettis
after
or
that,
Goodwin?
Pettis.
Pettis
Pettis
had
put up
an injury.
the
Goodwin was
first
out for the year.
I don't even.
Pettis-
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, Goodwin was placed on IR. I don't know what happened to Pettis.
Pettis,
Okay,
he missed like 2 or 3.
You guys
Basically,
remember when
Pettis
like
should have had a touchdown.
you froze? All right, you guys.
Said he was.
You completely froze there.
Oh, who me?
Yeah, you. What were you gonna say, Rohith?
I just did it again.
He keeps
I think
freezing.
for me,
A wide open touchdown in week 5, and ever since then he was kind of in Kyle's doghouse.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he just remember there was a time I remember at the beginning of the season we really thought he was going to be our number 1 receiver, and then we heard Kyle at training camp expressing lots of concerns about him, and then like
And I'm just like, wait, what just happened?
It's like-
I thought this was gonna be our guy.
and it was
No,
just
the
like
preseason game scared me because like he was one of the few starters that were playing against the Cowboys in that first preseason game, and then he just
I
like
think
he didn't do anything.
was he in the 4th preseason game? I think he was. He
He might have been.
If you're like if you were projected to be the number 1 receiver,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
playing
yeah,
the
yeah.
4th preseason game, that's a huge concern right there.
And then the first game he only had like 1 catch.
I actually thought we were gonna trade Pettis at the trade deadline when we traded for Sanders. Maybe.
Oh, yeah,
ship him
I
off
think-
to Philly or something. Get.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the team when the rosters are made. But yeah, all right. And then AC, how
I'd
would
want
you
to give
grade?
him one more chance.
Yeah, I want to give him one more chance. And then AC, how would you grade this pick?
I'd probably give it the same grade as you did. I mean, with everything going on with, this was Kyle's guy the whole time, as they explained after the draft was over. I knew like a little bit about Ayush, but I wasn't nearly focused on him just because of just because of one of our draft position. So I knew he wasn't considered to be in that range. Plus, I didn't think we would. There was a possibility we could have took Kinlaw, but I wasn't like focused on the bottom half of the receivers. I was only focused on, who's considered the top 4 guys, obviously Judy, Lamb, Ruggs, and Jefferson. So I only knew a little bit about him, but once I started watching him more and his highlights and just stuff in general, I really like the pick. Dude seems like a monster, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see him in the offense, and just it sucks with all this virus stuff, because it kind of stops the process of
no offseason program.
Wouldn't rookie minicamp have been around like soon?
Yeah, we've been starting like in a few weeks, but now I don't think we're doing. Are we doing anything? Are we doing like any virtual things?
I haven't seen anything.
I know NBA's having virtual
person for a while.
NBA is starting to get back in states
May
where they
1st.
lift bans. They're starting to get players to go back on. I think May 1st.
Yeah, like
is the day.
but California still hasn't done
California's
anything.
not- I would be surprised if there's a training camp.
I don't think there's any training camp.
I mean, if the season's going to start, if they're expecting the season to start on time, the Niners are probably going to have to go elsewhere for training camp. They'll have to probably just train somewhere else because we're probably not going to have.
Did they ever have an old spot? Didn't they have an old spot like before?
We'd have to go out of the state. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We'll probably
'cause
just go back to Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah, that's what I was
honestly,
saying. They have,
that's a great place to get. That would. I mean,
That's right, because we stayed there.
That's the thing. Like we have to like. I mean, we have to. There's like other football. It's going to be hard, but hopefully we'll figure it out. And then
hopefully all these damn thing ends, man.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it's getting better from what I've heard. So we'll all get
public
through
service announcement, everybody. Since we're on this topic, stay at home, wash your hands, just stay safe, and then this thing will just slow down. Like
if you want to do
follow
something,
CDC guidelines. We'll follow what your governors say, and just stay safe.
Yeah, if you want to talk to friends or something, if you want to talk Niners with other people, you want to interact with people, just DM me or tweet at me, ask to join the stream. That's a perfect way to do that. That's what I've really been doing, and it's been it's been going great. So Yeah.
Podcast
All right.
in 10 hours.
What?
Podcast in 10 hours.
Podcast in 10 hours. Exactly. All right. So before I move on to the next pick, I want to bring up one more thing about the Kinlaw pick. Can we just talk about the fact that almost no team in our division improved their O-line? Like Rams didn't do
Seattle
anything.
got worse.
Seattle they cut 2 starters, and I think they lost one in free agency.
But I think what that says, I think they're trying to bring back Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, but it's not going to matter when you're going against the Niners pass rush and can't win games because of that. And the Niners, like speaking of Clowney,
I
the
think
Niners
they just have their confidence. They just have their confidence in Russell Wilson. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
I know
they just seen Russell Wilson run around our fucking defense. Even though our defense is way better now, they just assume that Wilson's going to do that. I mean, that's not always the case.
Yeah,
but they just have trust.
He needs time in the pocket in order to be able to run around because that's how you find holes.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need in my opinion, like when I was looking at all the teams that did well last year, almost all of them have a elite O line. So it's like, and speaking of signing,
the only team that really performed well was the Colts.
Yeah, I know.
Colts
I mean, well, they also didn't really have.
They had
Messi. Colts are just all over the place.
Yeah, but speaking of the Clowney sign, they're trying to get Clowney. If they want to beat the Niners with Clowney, that they're not going to do that because the Niners just upgraded at left tackle, which leads to the next point that I want to get into, the trade for Trent Williams. So we gave up a 5th and a 3rd for next year. During the day 3 of the draft, as soon as it began, we immediately traded for Trent Williams.
Early morning.
Contextually speaking, that was a steal.
It's a steal, and I absolutely that is
I want if you don't mind, I kind of want to explain why real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. No, totally.
Basically,
go ahead.
Almost just basically for the past month, the Redskins have obviously been shopping Trent Williams, and honestly, they've been shopping Trent Williams since basically before last season started because of a complete mess that I'm not going to get into right now. If you guys want to know that whole story, I'll leave that for another time. But
the drama and stuff.
For the past month, in particular, the Redskins have been looking for 1st or 2nd round picks in order to get proper compensation for arguably one of the best left tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, one if not the best. One or if not the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and the fact, and then fast forward to day 3 of the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers get Trent Williams for a 5th round pick, which is basically
a mid 5th round pick.
A 5th, well, not just I'm kind of getting there, but for a 5th round pick, who's a guy who may or may not even make the roster, and then a future 3rd, which we don't even know how valuable that might even end up being.
I mean, it's like
pick 100.
It's such a steal. I got to give that trade.
How quickly did his value deteriorate in just a month?
In my mock draft that we had for the competition, I had Cleveland trading their 2nd rounder because they had an early 2nd. I had Cleveland trading that pick for Trent Brown. And so getting Trent Brown, I didn't expect us to get Trent Brown because we didn't have the picks to get Trent Brown.
I was shocked that we got him for that little.
It's actually day 3, not even day 2 or day 1. It was day 3.
Yeah,
I think
that just goes to show how quickly value can deteriorate in the NFL. Not just that, there was also one thing that the 49ers still had as practically a smokescreen, and that was the fact that Joe Staley didn't announce his retirement until after the Trent Williams trade.
Oh yeah, I think if Joe Staley announced his retirement on Monday when he told the team that he was going to retire, Washington would have asked for way more.
Oh, we would have gotten fleeced. We would have gotten fleeced at that.
Well, first of all, Washington would have asked for way more, and second, teams would have traded up ahead of us to get a tackle in the draft.
Exactly.
And then we would have just been desperate. I got to give credit to Joe Staley. I'll miss the hell out of him. He gave his heart and soul to the team for 13 seasons. But
I'm still pissed we didn't get him a ring.
I mean, at least
one.
Yeah,
7 minutes, man. 7 minutes.
It's all good, but it's such a good way to go out. To keep it secret that you're retiring. No one expects it, and then just come out of retirement once you get your left tackle that you got for nothing. It's such a. Nothing. It's it helps out the team so much. So I gotta give this an A+ trade. This is fantastic.
No questions at all.
Oh my god,
it might
I
be
love
John
that.
Lynch's best move so far.
honestly, I would not be surprised. That's
I
definitely
agree.
Yeah, probably because like a
Yeah,
starting
dude,
left
right.
tackle, that's
Because keep
right
up
up there with
we
starting
got
quarterback.
5 years younger at the position, and if you look from 2011 to 2018, he made
8
a
Pro
Pro Bowl
Bowls.
every single year.
Yeah, him and Staley were both top 5, and so we didn't downgrade. And at this point, we probably upgraded if he's healthy.
We upgraded and we got younger, and I think getting younger is
Got
more
it younger. I think he's
important than
like
the fact that we
31,
upgraded.
32. So 3 years younger kind of makes a difference depending on what you think about age. But yeah,
Especially
yeah.
for
we did
offensive
younger.
linemen.
And I think, and like also another thing that's kind of crucial about this deal is that there was a deal with the Vikings before this, and he declined it, and he accepted the deal for San Francisco, which was for less. So that just shows that he wanted to be a Niner. Like that's always like when you get a guy that wants to be on your team, like you try to figure out that wants to be on your team, that it's like it's a huge plus to that. Like
I kind of want to say that this is a Ron Rivera thing because there's no way on
It
Dan Snyder would have made
definitely
this
a
trade,
Ron Rivera
especially
definitely a Ron
especially
Rivera.
Kyle
100%.
Shanahan.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
doubt.
but also I think Lynch was the one that was like on the phone all the time, and then Kyle was
Mostly,
like,
Yeah, but at
because
the
he
same time,
knew
it's still the
he knew the
connection.
stuff with Kyle, and he was just like, "I'll just take it."
Exactly, but at
I'll
the same time, it's
just-
still the connection to Kyle Shanahan and
Yeah,
the
I don't think they would have traded him to the Niners even if it wasn't Kyle Shanahan involved, unless it was Ron Rivera.
yeah, totally. It's definitely a Ron Rivera deal, but
And also about the point about him declining the Vikings offer because you said they offered more. He also would have gotten a contract extension apparently, so
Yeah,
he probably
that's
would have
another
got
thing.
paid.
Yeah, they had one planned out.
He would have
Well, I
got
also
paid.
So he's coming here for the
whatever he
ring,
wanted.
and I think he's bought into the culture, and I think
yeah,
It
totally.
definitely helps that we had Kyle too because he played with Kyle. He probably liked the system. He probably thought that's what he could do best at this point.
Yeah, he's
He
familiar
knows
with
he's
everything.
familiar with it, so it wouldn't be like a dramatic change as if where he went to the Vikings. Like I think the Vikings, obviously every system in the league is different, and the Vikings, they want to run the ball,
Yeah,
but
they
they
got Dalvin Cook.
obviously use different things. The 49ers offense is just different in general.
Yeah,
But
it's
probably,
unique.
he was just familiar with Kyle. He knows Kyle personally, and he probably just, it made sense for him. It obviously made sense for us, but it made sense for him to decide to come and play here. So,
And if it's
I'm
not
glad-
us that gives him an extension, the Niners are the best spot to get an extension from another team after his contract's up because he'll be playing in the playoffs, he'll be playing primetime games, and he gets to play left tackle in a Kyle Shanahan system, so he's showcased even more.
It's practically just for now. It's just a one-season rental. We may or may not extend him after this season. So if he does leave, we basically get a third rounder in return.
Yeah,
so
we get the third.
Yeah,
round
I know.
pick.
That's
if
another.
that happens, we basically just gave up a fifth to get one of the best tackles in the NFL for a
A
season.
starting left tackle. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean that's
insane.
it's such a good move. Like
yeah.
I'm so happy about that. Like that's
I can't rave
I'm
enough
kind of
about it.
dumbfounded that it actually happened. To be
I know.
honest.
I know.
it's crazy.
It's such a good move. Like I'm kind
I
of
thought about it that night. Because I'm just sitting there just playing video games or whatever, and I'm like, damn, we just traded for Trent Williams for nothing.
I know. It's
and it's
crazy,
like
dude.
it baffles my mind. It's like holy crap! Like this actually happened. It's just like one of those unbelievable things. It's just
I know.
you gotta let it sink in.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
All right, before we move on to the next prospect, to all the Redskins fan watching, I'm just so sorry for you guys. Like, I'm so sorry that you chose a shithole of an organization.
Yeah.
I pray for you that you can get out of that.
Well, to
to
quote the great urinating tree, "Hail to the Redskins."
Hail to the dead. Oh, dude, urinating tree. Shout out to him. I love that guy, dude. I can't wait to see the draft haters guy. I always love that, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Those are always so good. If you're not subbed to urinating tree, get off this video and do that right now. I'm telling you right now, you got to do that.
You're gonna laugh your ass off.
I know he's so good. All right, let's move on to our next pick. Let's move on to our next pick. We took Colton McKivitz with the 153rd pick. We got that pick by trading Matt Breida to the Dolphins. I personally like this pick. I did some research on him. I'm gonna pull it up. I want to hear what you guys have to say. While I pull it up.
I saw a bit of his tape. Like he's a strong. I feel like he's pretty strong run blocker. I mean, we can slide him inside or out, kind of similar to what we did with Dan Brunskill for the majority of last season.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's a versatile piece that we just add to our rotation, and that just helps keep guys fresh. Because I don't think we're
Yeah.
going to like put him into massive positions to start off his career, because we still have a pretty solidified starting five for now. So he'll just rotate in here and there and just help give the starters some rest and still get meaningful reps and still be able to learn the system and get some real game time experience.
Yeah. All right. So these are my notes that I took on Colton McKinnick. So I watched a bit of film. I don't have too many notes, but all right. So he's good when he successfully gets the first punch. Otherwise, he can't recover. I think he can definitely fix that with like he'll have time to develop behind guys. Football IQ is mediocre and seems clumsy on plays where he loses to a defensive lineman. Again, that's one of the things where he can't recover. He's much better as a run blocker than a pass blocker, but he's good with it. And if he can keep his consistency with his first punches, I think he's going to be phenomenal because anytime he lands that first punch, he wins the battle. And then when he doesn't, he gets screwed up. And he also seems...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The last note I had is that he seems to do a lot better against power rushers than speed rushers. So that's why I kind of think he's going to be a good fit at guard. He played left and right tackle in college, a bit at right guard. So I think that's good to have a versatile guy good against power rushers. The other thing about him is that 9 out of 10 times a speed to power rusher is going to beat him. Like that's his main weakness. So you look at a guy like if you're playing one of the tackle positions, you got like a guy like Chandler Jones coming at you, he's going to lose that battle every day. So that's why I think guard is going to be a bit of a better position for him because he's a lot better with power rushers.
But at the same time, that's also
most power rushers are
there's a
inside.
different guy in the division that we have to worry about if we're going to talk about interior power rushing.
Yeah, I mean,
I got Aaron Donald.
But I mean, I think
My God,
I think he's a versatile guy. I think he's going to do a great job coming in there. He can compete for the right guard spot with Brunskill and Garland. So it's going to I think it's really just going to have everyone step their game up. And I think he's going to be a good depth guy, McKivitz. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the pick. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
And like, I'm just going to add on to what you said. I think we're probably going to put him at right guard, and what that allows us to do is that we can have either Weston Richburg or center or Mike McGlinchey or right tackle, and just have them support him real quick in like certain situations, maybe help him with certain blocks.
Yeah,
I think it would probably mostly be Richburg because McGlinchey is probably going to be taking on any edge guy, and he's going to be occupied there.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think Laken Tomlinson and Trent Williams will probably handle their one-on-ones much easier. So I think it's going to be Richburg who's going to end up helping McKivitz a bit here and there with just taking care of some defensive tackles if we're going to face a 4-3.
Having Richburg, Tomlinson, and Trent Williams on one side, shutting down that side, because that's a great trio. I don't know if there's a better trio than that in football right now.
Especially considering that's our quarterback's blind side.
I know,
that's
perfect.
Like, perfect thing.
That's the perfect
that's
spot.
Such a good blind side blocking
side. You want to protect his blind side because
you got like the best blind side protection
to the right. So.
I mean, we're going up against Chandler Jones 2 times a year, and I feel pretty confident. Like last year, I was a bit iffy. I went to the Arizona game last year where we started just in school, so I was a bit iffy on that. But now Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, hopefully healthy Richburg. Oh man, I am ready for that.
It's just mainly about that right guard spot.
Passing game is going to improve with that, but I want to talk about how our run game can improve.
Oh, dude, it's going to go through the roof.
The fact that we can move more people into space, because here's the thing. Trent Williams is much more athletic than Joe Staley. And that just helps open up so many more holes for our speedy and elusive running backs to get through, and then add in the UDFAs we brought in. Like, forget a Cerberus. We got a goddamn Hydra in the backfield. Like, holy shit.
I know.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
I know. So this pick, I definitely think it's a decent pick. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to start or not. But he's definitely going to compete for that right guard spot. I don't really know how to grade this pick. I'd probably just say A- because I really don't know what to expect of him. Hopefully he can get his consistency better on those first punches. And if he does, I think this could be a steal. This is another guy. Apparently they wanted, if they didn't trade up to get Ayuk, they were going to take him at 117. So this is a guy they had they were watching for a while. So that's another good thing. So yeah, what do you guys have to grade?
This is the pick that we got by trading Matt Breida to Miami.
Yeah, this is the Matt Breida deal.
Yeah, it was basically the pick for Matt Breida. Like, that's it. just a straight up swap
Okay,
for him.
this is gonna be a bit off track, but I kind of just want to appreciate how the fact that John Lynch has been able to get so much value out of just our players, and how it's either the same value that we put into that player or more.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, you
here's the
think
thing,
about the
we
two
brought in
players
Breida
you
as a
traded.
UDFA, and then we're getting a fifth out of that UDFA. Like, that's impressive.
I know Kyle always gets value out of undrafted free agents. Like Raheem Mostert balled out last year.
He lives for
Breida-
undrafted free
I
agents.
mean, but at the same time, you have to consider the fact that it's still you have to consider the fact
I know
that
it's ridiculous.
They still
you're
have to
getting
go out there and perform.
value.
So
Mhm.
I get what you're saying. They still have to go out there and perform, but Kyle makes a living off undrafted free agents.
Yeah,
But
and
getting these guys and getting value for them is perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
And on top of them being undrafted free agents, you got to realize that, like, for Breida and Goodwin, just both of them together, those are two players we traded. And both of them, I mean, Goodwin, I don't know if he makes the team. I don't think he would have made the team.
Goodwin
And
was going to get caught either way. Yeah,
Breida was a dark horse to not make it too, because he had kind of fallen. He was kind of in that doghouse.
he didn't really fit. Like the
He's-
other guys
he's
were
starting- he's
outplaying
starting to have
him.
a bit of a fumbling issue towards
Yeah,
the end
that
of the season.
Vikings
Oh, yeah.
game,
Didn't
like,
he-
I
what
remember
game did he
one carry
fumble
and that
in?
was a fumble.
He fumbled. I think he fumbled twice in the Atlanta game, and he fumbled late in the Minnesota, in like dead time in the Minnesota game
Yeah.
on a play that.
It
was 4th and 1. He got the first and
what
fumbled.
happened.
Yeah, it was a play in the Minnesota game. Like it was dead time, and he just it was a play that your average running back wouldn't have fumbled, and he fumbled on that. He had a bit of a fumbling problem towards the
Like,
end
all
of
he
the
had to
year.
do was fall forward, and
He was on the way down and he fumbled.
Yeah,
Like, it was
but
4th and 1. He had picked up the first and he fumbled.
yeah, but anyways, I do wish him the best in Miami. I think a fifth was worth it for him. And speaking of undrafted free agents, we're gonna get into another guy later on in the vid, or at least I'm going to discuss one guy later on in the vid that I think is going to fill his role really well for our team. But anyways, let's move on to the next pick. If you've watched my mock draft simulation videos, you know how hyped I am about this guy. I think Charlie Warner is the perfect fit for this team. He fits that Levine Toilolo role perfectly. He's going to open up the pass game for Kittle and Dwelly. He has Kyle Shanahan written all over him. This is my
that made me say, okay, our run game just is going to hit a different level.
Oh yeah,
season.
definitely. This is my favorite pick for the Niners. I'm being completely
It's not
honest.
even just run game. I feel like the pass
UGA
game
guys,
will help.
I know a lot of people who go to UGA, and I asked them about Warner, and they're like, he's a great run blocker, and he can be a receiver in a pinch. So you guys got a pretty good deal with this one. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
The thing with Warner, you got to think Georgia. Like Georgia, they're running. Think about the running backs that came out of Georgia. They got Gurley, they got Gordon, they got
Nick Chubb,
Sonny
Swift
Michel,
this year.
Nick Chubb,
and DeAndre
Swift.
Like they're a team that produces running backs. So fullbacks and tight ends are obviously super important to them. And Charlie Warner might be the best blocking one to ever come out of there. And
totally.
When you put that into perspective, and also another thing I wanted to say about him is, it opens up the run game, and then the pass game. There are so many times where we didn't get to put Kittle out in the pass game because he had to block for us on like 3rd and longs. Like he said that one day on like 3rd, like Kyle said, like 3rd and 10 or whatever or longer. Kittle's back there blocking.
Sometimes,
sometimes
you have to block, and that's a win for the defense.
And so when he's got Charlie Warner. When you got Charlie Warner there, we can put him as the blocker, and we can have an extra receiver with Kittle, who's I think he's our best receiver. And so having that will open up the passing game a lot more too.
If you look at Warner's profile, just straight up coming out of the combine, and when you look at him like through his draft stock, there's a lot of that's somewhat similar to how Kittle came out.
Kittle, exactly. That's exactly why I love this kid.
Wait, like this is basically
doesn't
the Kittle
catch
pick
that
all
much,
over
but it's a
again.
devastating blocker.
I know this dude is gonna
what Kittle was in 2017.
Yeah, definitely.
And so
yeah, I mean,
honestly, I feel like if we didn't pick him, if he went to anywhere else, he would have blown. He was going to blow up the NFL within like 2 years.
I've seen clips of him blocking already because, like, obviously,
he's insane.
Every pick, we send videos. Yeah, we send like videos of like the player.
Yeah,
and he's a devastating blocker. Like,
I know, dude.
He doesn't just go and just block. He goes and destroys the guy.
I'm so hyped about this pick, dude. I gotta give it an A+ for this.
Absolutely, no arguments there. A+.
This is like I've seen people like say like, oh, why do we need a tight end? First of all, we lost Selleck to retirement. We lost Toilolo. We only have 2 tight ends on our team.
We don't even have a third one yet.
Here's the thing, Dwelly isn't entirely
He's
that great. I mean,
decent.
he's
He's below average.
I mean,
He's not even really a blocker. I feel like he's
I know,
more of a
he's-
receiver than a blocker.
He played fullback for that one time when Juice was hurt. So like I don't know. He's
No, Toilolo
not as
did.
good.
he was all right. He
or
wasn't.
not
He was,
Toilolo, or yeah, that was Toilolo.
It was
my bad.
Toilolo because Toilolo is the blocking guy.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is
They
going to
love
open up. This is going to open up so much opportunity for Kittle and Dooley in the passing game. I think the stats might not show it with us, but the impact that he's going to have on our team, I think, is going to be significant, and that's why I absolutely love this pick.
Just makes our run game even better. It's insane.
I know, dude. This is
Really
going
insane.
to be
Yeah, no,
great.
day 3 added on to the run game crazy because we got Trent Williams, we got him.
Day 3 is officially John Lynch Day. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
which is April
We
25th.
should just next year's draft. We just finna do that next
John
year.
Lynch Day. Fifth round
John
Lynch did
Lynch
it. Fifth round Lynch did it again. He traded Trent Williams
John Lynch.
for his 5th round. We picked Trent Williams. Dude, 5th round Lynch kills it
John
every
Lynch.
year.
John Lynch owns the 5th round,
Yo,
man.
I know.
We
I know,
got
one
grade
of the
6
things
Clay
we
in
came
basketball.
away
Now we
with
got
the draft was
5th
crazy.
round Lynch. Let's go.
Yeah. I think personally, I actually think we should just name it Day 3 Lynch because we got Werner in the 6th round. So
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put it there. Day 3
Day
Lynch is
3
no longer
Lynch.
5th
We
round
got
Lynch.
DJ Jones in
Yeah.
the 6th round too, right?
DJ Jones was a 6th round pick
Yeah.
too.
Greenlaw was a 5th last
Greenlaw
year,
was
right?
Greenlaw
fifth.
was the 5th.
Who was our? Dude, the legend Marcel Harris was also a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
Wasn't
Julian
Julian Taylor a 7th?
Julian Taylor was 7th. Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
could be
Richie
he
James
was in the
was
same
7th.
draft with Richie James.
Yeah.
another guy. That's
Him
another
and,
guy.
him and Richie James
And
were
then
both
Colbert,
drafted.
too.
Okay. Day 3 Lynch is officially a thing.
Day 3 Lynch.
It's not a
dude.
coincidence. It's not a coincidence, bro.
We got
Just look at the
disrespectful
draft.
Kyle, and we got Day 3 Lynch. Let's go.
Yeah. So, I absolutely love this pick. I think we all agree with that. So let's move on to the final pick, which I haven't got to this guy too much on film or any research yet, but from what I've heard from him, everyone loves this pick a lot. It's
Steal
Jawan
of the draft.
This man's
That's
basically
still-
a boxer playing football. Like, this man just goes after the ball, goes after everybody. He's just straight up. He says, if you're in my way, you're either on the ground or you're behind me. Just get out of my way, or else I'm bowling you over. Like, that's basically Juwan Jennings. And I'm like, let's go.
I know.
Like, this is that
Juwan
dog
Jennings-
mentality we needed.
I don't know. He's like, I mean, it's hard to not compare him to Jalen Hurd just because he came out of Tennessee. But like Juwan Jennings, he breaks tackles like crazy. Like I didn't watch the game, but I know after it happened, like at the time, so like in the fall, I think it might have been the South Carolina game because that's the game where he had that crazy touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
I remember seeing clips of him and I was like, dang. And like at the time, I thought he was going to go like day 1 or 2 because I didn't know much about his stock, obviously. I just thought he was so good in those videos that I thought like he was insane.
Yeah, he's also the guy that caught the Hail Mary against Georgia a few years back.
Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah, the Dobbs
Ironically, I
Hail
was
Mary.
watching that game, and
I
I was
was
just
watching that.
thought Hail Mary.
When we drafted him, I didn't know too much about him because I didn't research him too much. But I was like, oh, this guy. So yeah, but I think he's going to do pretty well. He broke the most tackles out of any receiver in college last year, 30. So that's something to look at. It seems like just by like the interviews and everything that they did with him after, it seems like they wanted this guy too. So I think this is going to be a great pick. I do think though that there is a chance that he doesn't make the roster. Like our receiving core is like we have so many guys on that core. I think he's going to be battling it out with probably Pettis for that spot, which I think.
I think
If
Richie
Pettis-
James.
He's making the roster. That
Yeah,
he's too much of a dog.
I know. I mean, there's also
Did we keep 7 last year? I think we kept 7 last year, right?
we
Yeah,
kept 7 last year, and one of them was a kick returner. So this year,
Yeah,
it'll
so I
be,
feel like we'll do the same. Travis, Benjamin's getting cut.
it could. I mean, Benjamin could. I would not be surprised if Benjamin made it over James, but I think Richie's gonna make it.
I feel like
I kind of
just
put this out there.
Benjamin's only purpose is returning, really.
Yeah, well, that's
At
with
this
Richie
point.
too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Richie-
but like Richie's been on our team, and at least he doesn't fumble.
I mean, yeah, but
I feel like the wide receivers we're gonna keep are Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne, Trent Taylor,
Hurd.
Jalen Hurd, Jawan Jennings, and then probably Richie James with our kicker.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
exactly what I have. That's what I have. I wouldn't be surprised.
That seems right. The only
I think
substitution
Dante
I
McNeil
make
is
I think Pettis might get traded to somewhere like, I don't know, Green Bay for like a 6th, because at this point, let's be honest,
Dude, what is Green Bay doing?
Green
Like,
Bay is perfect.
Okay,
Okay,
here's
Green
the-
Bay.
Green Bay is building for a future that's like 4 years away, 2 years too early.
yeah, I think Green
Remember
Bay
the
would be.
reactions in the stream when they traded up for Love? Because it was us three. Us
Like
three
you were
were
there. I called. I'm like, this is Jordan Love.
and I was like, it's funny because they showed him before the pick.
I know,
Like they showed just him sitting in his
they
living room
showed him
before
right before the pick.
and
Like,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
not
just
sure if
funny
you
how
saw-
that
I'm
happened.
not sure if you saw the stream last Sunday, but I actually called it. Like I called the trade happening. I'm like, if Green Bay trades up, it's Jordan Love. And
I
it
know.
happened. I'm like, holy shit! I actually called this.
It's
But
not
yeah,
even like they went and got Love and then picked like some receivers later on. They just had like a
no
crap
receiver.
draft.
they got.
They're
I
basically
was
just trying to
shocked.
build. They're just trying
I
to
don't know
build
what they're
like
doing.
Walmart 49ers. Except
Yeah,
it's,
that's exactly what they're doing.
That's
except the Walmart in the middle
a
of
big
Florida
middle
where
finger to
everybody there's
Rodgers.
a coke addict.
Yeah, I mean, I do think though, I think Pettis will get traded or cut. But if he does make the roster over Jennings, then they're going to put Jennings on the practice squad. Like,
Oh,
I
he's
don't
gonna
think
get
you.
stolen if he gets put on the
Jennings-
practice
Jennings
squad.
won't get
He's gonna
cut.
get stolen within like that. He's gonna get stolen if he makes the practice squad.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm
I think
hoping.
we should take 7.
Yeah, I think we'll set. I think 8's too much. That's why we got to keep 7.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Okay, here's the, there's a
Debo,
lot of talk about
how
us
many do we have?
stashing Hurt as a tight end just so we can keep an 8th wide
Or-
receiver on the roster.
Good idea. We can. I think I've heard ideas of moving her to tight end.
And then
But-
Warner to
Well,
fullback.
tight end just to
I feel like
outsmart
it's just gonna be. I feel like it's just gonna be move in name. I think we're still gonna use him as a receiver. It's just gonna be a move in name just so we can have somebody else there.
Yeah, but
yeah, I just felt like that spot so we can have like an extra guy or something like that.
Exactly.
all right. What do you guys grade this pick? I got an A+ for this.
A+, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
We all agree.
A plus, no different. I was watching highlights this morning, just because like yes, when the pick happened, like later on that day after the pick, I just search his name like on Twitter, like the search bar, and then I would just look at everything that people are saying about him, and it's not like it's just us and Tennessee fans that are calling him a steal. I've seen I've seen a couple Titans fans calling him a steal, which I mean they might be Tennessee fans
That's
also.
I mean, here's the thing, I watch a lot of
I've seen
SEC football. I
everybody call
basically
him a
breathe
steal.
SEC football, and I'm like, Juwan Jennings is going to be a steal too wherever he went. And when I was like he came on the board, I'm like, we got Juwan Jennings. Let's go. We are beating
Yeah, I've been
people
seeing
up.
everybody call him a steal, and it's like,
And
it's
he
like
is.
crazy
The
because
only reason he
everybody.
fell to the
It's
seventh
not
is
like
because
is doing.
the only reason he fell
And-
to the seventh was because Butch Jones practically ruined the Tennessee program, and
Yeah.
Jennings basically had enough of his shit, and that's the only reason.
Yeah,
why
I mean that's what I was saying after the South Carolina game in the fall. Like he was supposed to go way higher, and it just kind of just all fell apart for no reason.
I think
Not to his fault.
No,
I mean,
no,
off the field
no,
issues
no,
maybe,
no,
but
No, here's saying, and plus, I think he's going to keep his head straight. So I don't think
Yeah.
we have any off-field concerns to worry about.
Yeah, but I definitely like that pick. So that's all our draft picks. I want to highlight 2 undrafted free agents that we signed. If you guys have any that you want to highlight, go ahead. I have some notes on these guys, so I'm just going to pull that up real quick. Are there any guys that you want to pull up, talk about?
Let's
I
see.
kind of want to start off with DeMarcus AC out of
Yeah, that's one of my guys.
yeah,
Here.
that was the only guy I
was it
really
Mizzou?
was gonna say.
Here, wait. Let me pull up my notes for here. Give me like 1 second. I took some notes on him, and yeah, DeMarcus AC I really like. I think he's gonna make the roster over a guy like DJ Reed or Verrett. But here are my notes for him. So he's really physical. He was a safety in high school, but he was recruited as a cornerback, so he can play both. He reads the quarterback really well. A lot of scouts said he had one of the highest potentials of this draft class. He's 6'2", 195, which is phenomenal speed. We're in a 4.45 40. He's best in zone coverage or at the line of scrimmage. He has great athleticism. His 2 weaknesses are that his hip and lateral movement are a bit of a problem, and the deep ball is going to get him in the NFL. When I was watching film on this guy, whenever there was a deep ball, he would just break it up in a way that any NFL receiver would have won the battle. Like his oftentimes on the deep ball, his back was turned to the quarterback. He was just kind of flailing his arms around.
He struggles to
cover 3 defense though. I mean,
Yeah,
we can hide some of that.
yeah,
but,
definitely.
But here's the thing: if we want to make him just cover like short and intermediate routes and maybe have the help of a safety when someone tries to go deep, like we can help mask some of those weaknesses. But I think he has a solid chance of making the rush. I think he's a good pickup in UDFAs.
Yeah, I think he's going to develop. I think he has a lot of room to develop. As the Lost Scott said, he has a lot of potential. So I think he's going to develop. Hopefully he can develop pretty well. I mean, when you're behind Richard Sherman, I think there's obviously going to be a huge chance to develop.
A lot of
within a few years, our starting corners could both be UDFAs.
I know that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, our running backs are UDFAs, so it's like, yeah. And
Speaking of
we're
running
going to
back, the other guy I like is the Baylor guy. I think it's Baylor.
That's the other guy I was going to talk about. So, but I think AC could definitely make the roster and has a legit shot. And then JaMychal Hasty, I do think will make the roster. When I was watching film, when I was reading about this guy, he's just Kyle Shanahan all over him yet again. And I think he can excel at the NFL level, not just like do well. I think he can do really well. So he's 5'8", 203, which is a bit undersized. Ran a 4.56 40, a bit average speed. But then, and then his biggest weakness is that as a blocker, he often seems really lost on the field, but he's whenever he gets the block, he's pretty good at it, so he has room to improve there. And then everything else.
What do you think about his ball carrier vision?
I'm gonna get into that. I actually really like it. I think he has decent field vision. He's a great route runner. He gets open all the time in the passing game. He's physical. He's a short yardage guy, which I think is kind of something that we have on our team already. Which I think that's kind of our system. The other thing that's kind of a weakness is his IQ is a bit average. I think that kind of has to go with his blocking. Like whenever there's a guy rushing the quarterback and he's supposed to block, he kind of just stands there, doesn't really know what to do. But other than that, the other things I got is good. He puts some good moves on defenders. He's a fantastic route runner and he has good balance all around. So I think like literal balance when you're like balancing on the beam. I don't know how you pronounce that, how you describe that anymore, but I think this kid has a legit shot at making the roster over a guy like Jeff Wilson Jr.
Hot take.
It's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
I don't know about that one.
No, I can see it happening. I'm just saying. Like,
I think he's going to be practice squad at first, like Jeff Wilson was originally.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's practice squad. But I really like him.
It's never bad to have too many running backs because injuries and stuff. Like Coleman could go down, or I hope Mostert doesn't go down, but anything could happen. Yeah, and McKinnon,
stuff happens, man. Injuries happen.
I think most mock drafts, full 7-round mock drafts, had him going mid 7th round. So I guess you can consider it a steal when he got drafted. The other guy that I did some research on is the other running back, Salvin Ahmed out of Washington. I didn't really like him. Yeah. He's kind of like Hasty, but he's a lot less physical. And while Hasty just finds the best route, whether or not there's a hole there, Ahmed just finds the hole, even if it's not the best route. So I'm not 100% sure that he's going to make the roster, but that's the other guy. I did research.
Ahmed kind of reminds me of Dante Pettis, except just as a running back. Like he doesn't really go after people. He kind of just takes what's there.
Another Washington guy too. I don't know if there's a theme with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they increase the roster space though this year, just because maybe no training camp or whatever, and it's a lot harder to evaluate.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good point. I think
I just thought of that on the spot because it kind of makes sense.
That's a really good point, actually. They might have – well, I think you probably want to do – I don't think they're going to start the season until there's at least 2 weeks. They're going to have like a 2-week or 2 or 3 week training camp.
Yeah, definitely. You can't just start the season. That's way too – like the players will get hurt.
Maybe one preseason game to test out all the guys that you think could have a roster spot but also could get cut.
Mm-hmm. That means we're probably going to see a lot of joint scrimmages between teams, so that we get a better evaluation since we can't really have that many good preseason games.
Yeah, so I think
timing makes it tough, so you never know.
Yeah, we might. I think. We'll see what happens, but I think that's actually a really good point that we might have to have more guys on the roster. Are there any other guys undrafted free agents that caught your eye you want to talk about?
Not really. I think
My
the other
favorite
guys
was
we just signed
the
were just signing as camp
was
bodies.
AC.
Yeah, AC and Hasty are my favorites.
Yeah.
AC, you got anyone that you want to talk about or not?
There's not really one I want to talk about. I just remember like the notification of us signing Chris Fink out of Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah,
He's
that's
like
another.
he's a small like receiver, like 5'9", like 2. And so basically, if you had to like compare him, like if he were to be like the best, it'd probably be like a Wes Welker or Trent Taylor type receiver, just like one of those slot guys.
I mean, if he, I think I haven't done too much research on him, but I think
I
it's
haven't either.
with our depth at wide receiver, it's going to be kind of hard for him to
Yeah,
make the
especially
roster.
like our slot spot is pretty crowded, especially since last year we didn't even run a true slot. It was just put somebody in the slot and had them run routes. And so having Trent Taylor and Jalen Hurd.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to see. That's why I did research on the guys that could possibly make the team, AC and the two running backs. But out of all the undrafted free agents, I think Hasty and AC definitely have the best shot of making the team right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Especially since we didn't go and draft any DBs. That's why I think probably AC definitely has the best chance to make the roster out of all of them.
Yeah,
also, it's the second year in a row that people said that, because I remember last year we were pretty confused when we didn't draft safety, I think. Yeah.
We didn't draft a safety, and
I think we got a corner. Yeah, Tim Harris. We got Tim Harris, the corner.
Yeah. I think that's another reason why we might have not drafted a defensive back is because of Tim Harris. Maybe they really like his production.
Yeah.
Maybe they also are. Maybe they're seeing something in Jason Verrett that nobody else sees. But
I mean, Jason Verrett, you could see it. It's just he's not on the field too.
He just can't stay on the field. He's not.
Also, DJ Reed, they might see something in him. I don't think. I think AC makes it over DJ Reed and Verrett and Dante Johnson. And
we haven't seen really much of DJ Reed. It's just been just him returning.
Well, I mean, his returning was not good. Like he started off at the 2018 season. He fumbled a lot, and on the field, like he hasn't really done much. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That's why I feel like training camp and preseason is so important to us, because we could test these guys out at returners. We could give Dante a shot at returning, stuff like that. But like, if there's no preseason, it makes it tough.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that there's a training camp. Hoping that this shit ends.
I hope there's at least like 2 preseason games, because like I feel like it's just important to teams.
Yeah, definitely. Also,
speaking, say this again. I already said it like half an hour ago.
Let's have training camp happen this year. Training camp. I will tell you right now.
For this to happen, people, to stay at home, stay safe, listen to the CDC, listen to your governors, and actually follow the guidelines so we can actually have this happen.
Preach. I will say, like, I really hope training camp happens, because I mean, training camp's honestly one of my favorite experiences. I've been 2 years in a row. I've gotten a lot of autographs. I got to talk with Dante. I don't know if you three saw that.
Didn't you? That was video with Dante, right?
I asked him when he would be back in the thing, and he said,
"Yeah, he's like, yeah. I remember that video."
Yeah, I know.
Now we got like 3 people blocked. So
yeah, but what happens there stays there, so we don't talk about that too much. But yeah, training camp. If you're a Niners fan and you live in the Bay Area, and you have the opportunity to go to training camp, do it. It only costs $5. It's like a morning. That's $5. They go to charity. It's a morning thing. It's totally worth it. You get to talk with a lot of Niners fans that love exactly what you love. It's really fun.
It's basically like joining a family that you didn't know you had.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. So yeah, and you're also gonna get autographs at the end. I got a Dante autograph the first year I went. I got a Breida autograph the second year I went. So yeah. All right, all right, you want to say something?
No, that's something else. All
right, before we wrap this video up, how would you guys grade this draft overall when you include all the picks we made, all the undrafted free agents? Yeah, how would you guys grade it?
I think factoring the trades
and trades too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Factoring the trades, the draft picks, and where we got them, what we gave up for them. All in all, I would give this a B+. And I think what kind of really keeps me from giving this an A is the Sanders trade and the fact that we don't know what we're going to.
I completely I think the Sanders trade, without Sanders, Debo doesn't develop, Kendrick Bourne doesn't develop, I don't care. I mean,
no,
we only had.
no, that's not what I mean. I'm saying like if
Oh,
we kept Sanders and maybe still got a guy, I think that would help me bring it to like an A. But the fact that we couldn't really keep him, like, I mean, it's just a personal thing for me.
All right. I mean, I just feel like I'll tell you right now. I'm giving this an A+ because we got Trent Williams, D Ford, and Emmanuel Sanders. Even though Sanders is no longer on the team, without him, Debo
I
and
completely forgot that we actually gave
we
up.
don't,
I
we
completely
don't even
forgot
make
that
the Super Bowl.
that the second
We
we
don't even
gave
make
up
the Super
was
Bowl without him.
D Ford. I thought for a second I'm thinking, wait, was it the 2019 second that we get?
No,
Never
it
mind.
was
Thank you for reminding me that it was the 2020 second that we get. That brings us to an A for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think people like underestimate how important that Sanders trade was because you guys, if y'all remember, without the first week,
our receiving core was almost
our
I
wide
would say
receiver core
atrocious
was
almost.
atrocious, and then once Sanders come in, he balls out, Debo balls out, Kendrick Bourne balls out. Like that was really
Like
the
we
change.
needed that veteran mentorship.
Yeah, we
They
needed
accelerated their
If you
development.
can give me a Super Bowl trip, because I don't think we make the Super Bowl without Sanders. No way.
we don't. I don't think we even win the division without Sanders.
We don't win
No,
the
because
Saints game.
we don't win the
Seahawks
division at all
game.
because we don't win the Saints game or the second Rams game without Sanders.
We don't win the Saints game. We don't win the second Rams game. We don't win the Seahawks game. I don't think we even win the Cardinals game. Like
if trading
The first one or the second one?
either. I don't know. Both games.
Oh, actually,
like,
maybe the first one more because the second one he got hurt. He didn't really play.
The second one, he was out. So it was the first one.
Well, the second one we scored touchdowns with our backup tight end twice, and our fifth string running back, and like some other guys. So I think it would
first
definitely.
game we don't win without Sanders.
The first Cardinals game was his best, arguably his best game with us. One of.
Yeah, definitely. But I think he was such a huge X factor,
But
and that's
a
why,
1 year
like,
rental.
for a half-year rental, like to give up a third and fourth, like that seems like a lot, but considering the impact, the long-term impact that he gave to this team, it was totally worth it.
I think you probably have to take it in context.
If I can get a 1 year rental to give me a chance to win the Super Bowl, put us 6 minutes away from winning the Super Bowl, I trade a second, third, fourth, fifth. I trade like half our draft picks for him.
Trade everything.
Ryan.
Just giving us 6 minutes away from the Super Bowl, I think.
Trade the house.
Yeah, and also
and the development of Debo and Kendrick Bourne and all that. Kendrick Bourne and Debo, like they took a huge step. Like that Seahawks game was like the first step that Debo took to becoming like a star receiver.
I know, definitely. And Blat brings up a good point. We also got a fifth back in the Sanders train, which
I was gonna say that the Trent Taylor pick the Trent Williams pick from this year. We get a comp pick. I think is it next year? Yeah.
Yeah, comp pick. If he stays, we lose. We don't get a comp pick, which doesn't really matter because he's worth a first. And if he leaves, we get a comp pick, which basically means we got a year of Trent Williams for a fifth. So
the Sanders comp pick.
We traded a third and fourth for Sanders, and also we got a fifth back. So basically, the fourth and the fifth kind of swap out each other because our fourth is late and the Broncos' fifth is like kind of early. So basically, if you look at it, it's a third. And
I want to change my
on how you value a third round pick. I mean, I think it's kind of valuable, but for Sanders, for a guy that
Sanders is worth it
to help us get to the Super Bowl, it's worth it. I mean, we're going to be saying the same thing about the Trent Williams trade for sure. So, I mean,
you know what? I want to change my grade, and I'm going to give this one a W because John Lynch ate the biggest W on this one. Like this is a huge W.
I mean,
we didn't. 49ers I was scared that coming into this draft that once we had tasted some success that we were going to coast a bit and maybe kind of whiff on a couple of picks here and there. I was scared this was going to turn out to be our 2012 draft over again, and I'm like, this is a lot similar to our 2019 draft.
2012,
and I'm like, let's go.
Okay, maybe worse than 2012, man.
2012, God, that was bad. It was like AJ Jenkins and Michael James. I don't know. All right.
Well, Michael James might have been the best player we got from that draft. And
honestly, Michael James was the best player.
I had so much high hopes for him just watching him at Oregon.
But he ended up stuck behind Gore and Kendall Hunter. And I'm like,
I know. It was the third running back. Made no sense.
It was weird.
I'm like, why did we give it to him?
I know. It's all. I mean, he was so hyped out of Oregon, but
he was really good at Madden. I used to return kicks with him all the time. Because his speed was like a 98.
He was ridiculous. Like on paper, he looked ridiculous. So yeah.
Okay. I wanted to say something about the Trent Taylor trade. Like when Walt brought up the Sanders comp pick or whatever.
Yeah.
So for Sanders, we got a fifth rounder, and for Trent Williams, if he does leave, we get a third rounder. So basically,
actually, no, we still get a comp pick for Sanders.
Next year,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, so trading him, like, I feel like that 5th round pick it doesn't make it like, I don't care about losing him for a 1 year rental just because of what he gave us for that 1 year.
Like potentially
The
speaking, we
5th round
could
pick,
get a third back
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
as
exactly.
a comp pick from
Yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah, so it's going to be I think that's why I have this draft at such a high grade. But I want to hear what Ayush and AC have to say.
About the draft as a whole.
Yeah, like what would you guys grade it?
I mean, the Trent Williams trade makes it an A+ for me. I would have had it as an A or an A- maybe, but the Trent Williams trade is just so insane. Like, there's no way we could have done any better than that to replace Staley. Like, that's the best possible thing we could have done with that.
Yeah, and then what about UAC?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I mean, the Trent Williams trade probably just improved the draft even more. And like if we didn't make that trade, I probably still would have gave it like a A- or a B+. I mean, just a couple letter grades down, which is not really that huge. But since we traded for one of, or if not the best tackle, left tackle at least in the league, for a 5th rounder and a 3rd next year, which I mean, we'll probably get one back if he does decide to leave. I mean, it just accelerated the grade up to A+. I mean, there's nothing you can really change. I mean, unless like it feels weird because we in the chat we've invested so much in talking about Judy and Lamb and Ruggs, like all those guys. Like it feels so weird that we don't have one of those guys. Like I don't know why. It just feels weird.
I was one of the guys telling you guys that more like that was going to be Kinlaw.
Crazy.
No,
It's like
I was high on
weird.
Kinlaw. It's just CD being right there was kind of weird. CD and Judy.
Like I told you guys,
I like
more
Kinlaw. Kinlaw's still my favorite out of the non-receivers, anyways. So
yeah. So it's just weird.
And also like
having these guys.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I gotta look at that also gives me an A. When you look at the guys who we gave up, who we lost in the draft, or like lost in the offseason, Buckner, Sanders, Staley, Levine, Toilolo, and the guys we replaced them with, I will take any day. Trent Williams,
we basically went 1 for 1.
one for one, exactly. It's like Trent. We got a cheaper DeForest Buckner. We got a cheaper and possibly better Emmanuel Sanders. We get a who else?
Cheaper
We got
Levine Toilolo.
Better Levine Toilolo too, and we get a significantly better Joe Staley. I wouldn't say significant.
And here's what's even more important. We got younger at all those positions.
We got younger, exactly.
And
That's
cheaper,
like younger, cheaper.
More
Again,
late.
that's why I had to change my grade from that slightly low ball B+ to that. John Lynch, you earned a W for this one.
Exactly. Yeah.
we don't have a Sheldon Day replacement.
Yeah. All right. You guys got anything else to say before I end this?
I'm good.
Nah.
All right.
I'm good.
If you guys stay on for a bit. All right. If you guys stay on for a bit after, I want to talk to you a bit. But anyways, to all my viewers watching, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter once again. Make sure to follow these guys on Twitter right there. And I will see you guys next time. Go Niners.